You don't know my struggle. You don't know my pain. You don't know my past. So you don't know who's to blame. You don't know my weakness. You don't know my fight. Ain't been in my darkness, so you never see my light. But I bleed red like you won't get no proof. 'Cause even if I'm losing, I will never be defeated. And even if I'm crying, I will never let you see it. So I'm laying out all of my weapons.
Creating jobs, right? When you talk about impact and being a boss, you can't say that much.
I went to their website and I was blown away by some of the facts that I found on the website. One was Eureka. It's actually, she was the first and only African American female officer in the city of Falls Church Police Department.
Wow, that's a wow. Go, girl.
I'm honored to be on your show today and to be able to share my story. I don't take it lightly at all, and
Okay. I'm gonna start off by putting out. I'm not good at stuff. I'm not good at talking about me. I can talk about a whole bunch of other stuff.
I know, I was about to say, let them think their phone, their screen froze.
Oh my God.
Yes, we're live.
We're live, guys. We're live.
We're ready for everybody to get on. I'm gonna say it's Angie and Renee.
It's Angie and Renee, but not Renee.
It is Angie and Renee. Oh my God. It's Angie and Renee, but we have a special guest, LaShawna.
Hey. I'm so used to being quiet.
I know.
I was like, do I speak or do I not?
Hey, Facebook.
Hey, Instagram.
Hey, Facebook. Hey, Facebook, it's Angie and Renee. You are not Renee. Even during this time, God, we pray for favor because we know that you are able to do it. And he was with him. He pushed him in a stroller while he was running. He had him in a boat while he was swimming. Swimming.
Amazing. They let me feel comfortable in speaking, and I'm so grateful for this platform.
I'm like, what happened? Why am I
Oh my gosh.
screen?
What is going on?
You're on. What's wrong?
I'm on.
Yes.
I can't see anything.
We see you. Hey, Facebook.
Hey, Facebook. It's Angie
and Renee.
I don't know what is going on with my computer. Oh my goodness. Where's IT? Oh my goodness. Okay. I'm scared. Okay. Woo! It fixed itself. What up, y'all? Oh my goodness. It's so exciting to be here this evening.
Yes, it is. Yes, it is. And do you want me to start with our wow factor?
That would be great.
Okay. So our wow factor tonight, I think it goes like perfect with our show title today, subject everything. So it's a Black couple. They purchased 53 acres. It's a ranch. And they said the main reason why they purchased it because they wanted to pass it down to their children and grandchildren. Mm-hmm. They are two adults from Brooklyn said it took them 10 years to come up with the plan, but
Oh,
the
wow.
point is they purchased 53 acres.
Oh, wow.
They're building on it. So I thought that was like, that's something to really pass down, like to generations and generations to come.
Definitely. 53 acres.
53
Go
acres.
you.
Yes. So, yeah, I thought that was pretty cool.
I think that's absolutely cool.
Yes, and it's
Yeah.
beautiful. I'm looking at the picture. It's beautiful.
Ooh, nice. What's
Yes.
the crooked? Okay.
All right. So we have a guest tonight.
Yeah.
Tell us about yourself. Introduce yourself and tell us what you do.
First, I would like to say thank you guys so very much for having me on. I look forward to sharing this platform with you and just talking a little bit about what I do. My name is Twanja Windley. I'm a realtor. I am the founder of the Twindle Foundation, and I'm very passionate about home ownership and helping people of color to purchase a home.
That's
I'm
awesome.
also a writer for Sheen Magazine, and I'm an author as well.
Ooh, okay. All right. So she does it all, y'all.
Yes.
She does
Yeah.
it all. So, okay, so let's talk about why did you, because you say you're a realtor, right?
Mhm.
But you have this foundation and you're passionate about helping, people of color for home ownership. So tell us what is your foundation about? Let's talk about that. And
This,
what
oh, I'm sorry. Go ahead.
No, I was gonna say what's the name of it?
The Twindle Foundation. I started the Twindle Foundation because as a realtor, I was seeing there are so many challenges that African Americans or minorities were facing as they were purchasing a home. So the idea of the foundation is to help educate people on the home purchasing process and also to help them to get over those challenges that they face, and then also to help them to learn how to build generational wealth through real estate or home ownership. As I continued in my career path, I saw that the statistics shows that 74% of white people are homeowners versus only 44% of African Americans own homes. So there's a 30%
Wow.
gap in
Wait,
there, and so the
did
Twindle
you say
Foundation is to bridge the gap. Go ahead.
44% and you said 73%?
74% of white people own home are homeowners, and only 44% of African Americans are homeowners. And this number, that 30%, it hasn't changed over the last 50 years.
What?
Yes,
50
since
years.
50?
since 1968. Yeah,
So
since
tell-
1970. I'm sorry.
Wow.
that was the year I was born. So why do you think that is happening? Like why do you think there's that big gap?
Yeah.
There's so many different things there. One, just understanding the home purchasing process. Then you have a system that's just rigged that keeps us away from being able to purchase homes and to build generational wealth. And then you have student loan debt. That's a big conversation that we've been
Oh,
having
wow.
nationally. I'm sure that you've seen, President Biden has been on, talking about that, and he has implemented to pay off some student loan debt. But there's certain people, there's certain criteria that you'd have to meet to qualify for that debt cancellation. But student loan debt is definitely a big factor for people, holding them back from being able to purchase a home. So I took that
Wow.
information, what I was learning, and then I'm thinking to myself, okay, how do I bridge this gap? What can I do? And so I created the Twindle Foundation so that I could be able to educate people on how to purchase a home, and also help to eliminate student loan debt.
Oh, okay. Okay. So the foundation help you to eliminate student loan debt. Okay.
Well, here's how that works. I created a scholarship, a $5,000 scholarship
Oh,
for
wow.
minorities, and so we gave our first scholarship away this back in actually it was for this school term, August. And so the idea is so that if I could help to lessen the amount of money that people would have to take on the debt,
Right.
that would help them to be able to have less debt when they go in, or help their debt to income ratio when it's time for them to
Wow.
purchase a home. So I want to be a part, as I wanted to provide a solution.
Wow. That
Oh,
I think that's awesome.
I do too. Yeah.
Yeah.
Like and the fact that you've come up with this solution to help people with this, with the scholarship. Do you only help people in certain states?
No, no, absolutely not. So anyone can apply. The next scholarship opening will be announced in October.
October.
Mhm.
So like what is this for? So for this scholarship, is it for college only? Can it be a
Yes.
trade school? Is it higher education?
No, at this point, it's only for college students.
Okay.
But hopefully soon we'll be opening it up, and I want to be able to give away more money so I can have more recipient, and then we can open up the criteria a little bit more.
Okay. I think that's great. I
Me
think that
too.
we definitely need to dig deep,
Yeah.
right? And then
Yep.
find what is really the problem.
Right.
Because so you saw the statistics and you're like, okay, well, why is this? And you found the need and found what it was, and then you caused. I absolutely love it. I would have never thought that it would have just been that it would have been because of student loan debt.
Yes.
Absolutely.
So yeah, I am familiar like with the debt to income ratio and let's talk about that a little bit. Can you like educate people on that?
Well, when you look at your debt to income ratio, they take in every bill that you pay out monthly, and then you look at your income, and so how much that you pay out, you have to be at a certain percentage when you're going to apply for a loan. So that's the criteria when they're looking at. So if you make $5,000 a month and you're paying out $2,700 a month in student loan, I mean, depends on what type of loan
Yeah.
that you get. They calculate, some of them are 1% of the loan amount, and then of
Right.
how much you owe, and then and one of the other ones is, they use a certain percentage, your income based payment, whatever you're paying back. So if you're taking 1% of how much you owe, and then you have people who go to school, and college is very expensive,
Yes, it
and
is.
especially if you're going out of state, and then if you come out of school and you have $100,000 worth of debt, then you're thinking about, you take that 1% of the $100,000, and then every other bill, plus you have to add in the amount of the mortgage that you're looking at. So you can
Right.
have a pretty decent income, but
Mhm.
then once you add that the debt, I mean your student loan, and then you add the mortgage, and then you add your car payment, and then you add whatever other small bills that you have, or large bills, then that takes you over a certain amount. So you have to make a whole lot of money, and then on top of that, when we look at the wealth disparities, because here's the thing, minorities make let me rephrase it, Caucasians make 10 times as much as minorities do. So you're looking at a household median
Wow.
of minorities making about $13,000 a year, versus Caucasian are making $100,000 a year, and especially
Right.
when you're coming out of college in your age 30. So then you're like, well, I'm not making enough money to be able to afford that. So then
Yeah.
the minorities are struggling, and then we're the ones that aren't able to purchase a home, because we're not on the same scale, we're not making as much money, but we're
Mhm.
going to school, we're doing everything that we're told that we should do, so that we could be able to
Yeah.
make money, and then we come out and we're still short.
Wow.
I'm just like, why? I hear a lot of people, because I think me and Angie had this conversation before, because my mindset, and it has changed since then, but you hear a lot of people say, I'd rather just rent an apartment because they're going to fix everything, I don't have to worry about it.
Mhm.
But I saw a story a year ago that kind of changed my mindset. A lady had been living in the same apartment for, I think it was 25 years. And they decided to tear the apartment building, the community down.
Oh, wow.
And she had to move. And she said, what am I supposed to do? She had been there for 25 years. And I saw somebody said, in 25 years, you could have purchased and bought your own home.
That's true.
Wow. Yeah, that's absolutely. I mean, she could have, but then here's the thing, and I don't know, like there could be a whole lot more variables to that. But when you have student loan debt, it holds you back from being able to save money to be able to
Yeah.
put money down a home, because that people have to have money to put down on a home in order to move forward. But for someone staying in an apartment, they probably think, hey, I don't have to the struggles of keeping up the upkeeps in
Right.
the home, that type of stuff. I don't have to mow the grass. I don't have to fix anything. If something happens, then I can be able to call someone. But now the era that we're in, it's not that simple, because you can rent an apartment now and be just as high. You can purchase a home and pay less than you are in rent now. And now all they do is, now they're putting in fancy amenities, giving you hardwood floors or luxury vinyl plank, and but still maybe paint the cabinets, and then they're upping the price of it, and so, or saying that they're using a fair market value
Yes.
rate, and then they do an increase on there. So you might as well go out and purchase a home for the money that you're putting into an apartment. But the other part of it is too, because there's a big difference in that, because when you're paying someone else to live in their home and to rent from them, you're all of your money, there's no gain to that. But when you purchase a home, although there are some sacrifices, there's some things that you would have to do, the upkeeps, but you could also gain generational wealth. That's something that you can pass down to your family. You can't pass that apartment, that rent payment to someone else. You can barely put their name on the lease. So, so you're creating generational wealth. And here's something else that I've been thinking about as far as generational wealth. You can buy a house and you could turn it into anything. You can rent it out. You can turn it into an Airbnb. You can buy a multi-family duplex. You can live in one side of it and rent the other side of it and gain income from that. So it's your mindset, and it's almost not what I want to do with this house. What can this house do for me? So when you shift that mindset into that direction, it's like you want to gain generational wealth, but at the same time, just purchasing a home, it can, because you can sell that home, take the equity out there, and then make those purchases, by things that could bring more opportunity to create wealth. But yeah, I'm sorry, I'm gonna stop right there.
No, you were going, girl. I was loving it.
I love that. Let me make sure I got this right, because I want to put that on the screen. It says, what can this house do for me, was the question you asked.
Yes,
that's exactly right. What can this house do for me? You don't just want to purchase something, or you, just like you were speaking about the people that purchase the land and pass it down to the kids. It's absolutely great, because when you think about it, I have this land and I can build a house on it, or several houses, and my kids can have this land and they could build houses on it. But then what good is that land going to do? Because now you take this land, of course you can still build a house on there, but how much of it can you actually use? You can rent that land out and allow people to use some of it, so that you could pay the taxes, because I'm sure it's a lot of taxes on that land. It's not
that's a lot of land.
You could start a business on there. If you're a photographer, you can build your own place. You can build your company there instead of renting a brick and mortar from someone else. You can use that land to create opportunities so that you can build generational wealth.
Yes.
Ooh.
I've heard this saying from the late Dr. Miles Monroe a few years back. Before he passed away, he was at our church, and he said, whatever you chase, you would have to continue to chase it. And so I think about like this: when you chase money, you have to continue to chase it, because it's going to continue to run away from you. But when you chase opportunities, more opportunities are going to come, because you continue to chase it, and more opportunities are going to come. So you have to think about it in that mindset of, what can I do? Saying what type of opportunity can I create to build generational wealth? What can this do for me so that I can earn something from it? Make it work for you. Yes.
That's good right there.
Yes.
That's good.
Yeah.
I think that a lot of times that you have some people who they want to go out and they think that the first house that they buy is the end
Their
all.
last.
Now,
Yeah.
for some people, that's true.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? You're like, you may get to a certain age, or you're just that certain person. You're like, I want to purchase a house, and that's it.
Mhm.
And so, my thing is, I used to do real estate, and so my thing is that you don't have to. You can purchase something it can be your starter home,
Right,
right?
right.
And you can use it as an investment. And that's why that when you said that, what can this house do for you? We have to look at it in that aspect,
Right,
because
absolutely.
it's, oh my gosh,
I
that
have
that
this
really, yeah,
I have this conversation with my clients all the time, because in the beginning, they're purchasing their first home, and they just, a lot of people say, "Oh, I want to get my dream home," but your family may expand. Your family, you're going to come and become an empty nester at some point in time. You may
yes,
have to downsize because of your job. You don't know what's going to happen. So at this point, make it make sense for you. Make sure that it's affordable,
Yeah.
one, and then think about what other opportunities can come along from it.
that's
you
right.
could do you can do anything with a home to make it so that it could work for you. But yeah, your first home is definitely not it's not going to be your last home, and you have to
No,
think about it like that. You do have to think
yeah,
about it like that.
Yeah.
yeah. Usually, yeah.
It's
Sometimes it is, sometimes it's not. But so I think that even like when we're talking to the younger generations, we're talking to and telling them, saying, just right now it's just you, or it's you and your husband. Why not buy a condo? And and then you can use that. You're building your credit. You're there. You're building your equity. You can, think about it and then save some money when you start having kids. Then you can get the bigger house.
right.
You know,
Absolutely.
keep it.
Absolutely.
You may want to keep it in the family so you can pass it down to your kids. You may want to sell it. So yeah,
Rent it out, turn it into an Airbnb. And you're at the place where, if you think about it, you see that. And I've seen this a lot over the years after I graduated from college, but I've seen um, where apartment complex started making houses for geared towards students. And
yeah,
so they
Mhm.
rented out rooms so that, and it's a little bit safe because people you can do something like that. You could
Yes.
rent out rooms to college students, and then charge them each for a room, and then hey, you're generating income from that. I
yeah,
know that there are challenges that we face in the minority community and things that are setting us back, but we can't allow that to hold us back because we're very smart people, and
Yes.
we just have to figure out how to get in the game just like everyone else. If you see someone, and because we're thinking that mindset of this is my first home because we've seen our grandparents, they didn't go through homes that way. They didn't. My
right.
grandparents didn't. They had one
No.
house,
Me,
Yes.
and
yeah,
they lived it. And so we still see Big Mama's house, that same house that we grew up in. Oh, this house has been in our family for 50 years,
right.
that type of stuff. But when you really think about it, you see people are moving, changing through stages or whatever, but there's still people out there who gain the equity at the house and then they move a year or two and then they gain money because there's money in there to be made, and then they take that money and they start a business, or they take that money and put it into some type of investment. We have to get that mindset. We have to shift and be able to get on board. I'm not going to say that we're holding ourselves back, but we can't allow challenges to hold us back because we're smart enough to create opportunities for ourselves.
Definitely. Look at all the opportunities that we've created with with a foot on our neck.
Yeah,
So
absolutely.
yeah, come on, we're brilliant.
We're still here.
Brilliant, brilliant. Yes.
If someone was interested in purchasing a home, where are you based at? Are you licensed in multiple states or?
I am licensed in South Carolina. So that's where,
Okay.
yeah, I'm only licensed in South Carolina.
Okay. But your foundation again can help and educate anyone who's interested.
That is correct.
Okay.
Yeah, that is correct.
Okay.
Okay. So what are some other things that the Twindle Foundation that they like educate on? What are some other things?
Well, you know what? We like to educate people about credit. And then that's a big challenge too, because when people start that process of purchasing a home, the first thing that you want to do is you want to check your credit. You want to see exactly where you are, so that if there's some obstacles that you need to deal with, while moving ahead. And that's one big factor, because sometimes people never take a look at their credit, but it should be something that they should monitor, you know, often, so that they know what they're up against, or what you would need to try to fix to be able to, to purchase a home, or whatever it is that you're trying to purchase. So checking your credit, that's very important, that you should, check your credit.
Mm-hmm.
So do you provide education on credit, or you help people with credit?
I provide information on my website, and also on my social media, to talk about credit. I also try to, put information out there and do interviews with people who do credit repairs, that type of stuff. I don't do anything with credit. It's a lot. It would be a lot of challenge. It would be more challenging for me, because I focus on real estate, but I try to give people information to get them into the right path, or place them with the right people, so that they know they have the tools that they need, so that they'll have the tools that they need to be able to, go into the right direction. So
That's
that
right.
first step would be to, check your credit. And a lot of times there's so many different things that are going on out in the world, and companies that are being hacked, and so, you don't know who's hacked your credit, or what's going on, and you don't want to come up at the end, and you're surprised that there's something there that you wasn't aware of, but right in the middle of when you're finally ready to purchase that home. So that is something that we do. Yes, that we do try to preach, um, you know, to make people more aware of being aware of what's on their credit, what challenge did it have, instead of going through that process and then having to make those changes, those setback, and especially when you finally work your way to being that process, like, okay, I'm finally ready to purchase a home, and then when you start, there's that stumbling block.
That actually happened to me. We were ready to go ahead and purchase a home, and so we were like, okay, we had saved a little coins, and we were ready to move to the next step. And they pulled our credit, and then they were like, showed all these different things, and I was like, wait a minute, that's not me. I don't know where that came from. So that did, that was like, okay, yes, you need to monitor your credit all the time, because I would have never known that stuff was on there. I would have never known that was on there, and it took some time to get it off.
Absolutely. It's
So
a challenge. It's definitely a
mhm.
challenge. Another something else about credit that I'd like to share. Even though, like, because sometimes people get offended when you bring up the subject of credit, because they think that you feel like they have bad credit, and that's not the case, because you could have really good credit, but you could have a very high debt to income ratio. And so you don't want to wait until that last minute of trying to work those numbers out. You want to jump on it, as quickly as possible. So sometimes you need to know exactly what you have, going on. You may have too many open accounts. You may have to get rid of some things for the moment in order to make those numbers work. So that's why we try to tell people, hey, let's take a look at your credit, and see what's going on. And they can actually, you don't have to really just go through a credit repair company, or work with someone with credit. You can speak with a lender, and when you go for a pre-approval, or you can reach out to a lender and say, hey, listen, I'm considering purchasing a home, within X amount of time. I'm not sure what my credit score is, and I don't know what I'm qualified for. Can you
Right.
help me get a pre-approval, or at least give me the steps? And the lender can take a look at where they're at, look at their information, and he can tell them, or he or she could tell them what they need to pay off, or pay down, or work on their credit, so that they would be able to qualify when they reach that time frame. So you definitely want to reach out to someone and for help, because the information is there. The people are in place to help you. You just have to want it for yourself.
Yes. So how soon do you think, like, people should get started on wanting to purchase a home? Like, when I say get started, so say, like, I'm like, oh yeah, I'm thinking about buying or I want to buy a home, but it's what month are we in? September. It's September. And I'm thinking, maybe like January, somewhere like that. So how soon do you think that somebody should actually start the process?
Okay, so a few years ago, I would just say this very quickly. I used to work in the automotive industry, and we used to have people who would come out and they would want to test drive a certain vehicle to see if and they will say, oh, I'm not buying anything right now, I'm looking, I'm not going to buy for another year or so. Then why are you here right now? Why are you
Right.
here? But here's the thing that I've learned, because people need to know what fits their needs, you know what I'm saying, and their
Yeah.
life is going to shift, and they might not know, or what type, what that price range look like, how can I factor that into, because time goes by pretty quickly. So here's the thing, I feel like people should be aware of the process. You need to know what that home purchasing process looks like. You need to educate yourself on that. I don't think that people should just go out and start looking for homes. No, absolutely not, because those homes will be gone by the time you go back to it. So
Right.
I would put that on the back burner, but I would educate myself on the home ownership process. And I would start where my credit is, and then give yourself at least 6 months, and then plus, how long will it take you to save up money for down payment? How long is that going to take? Because a lot of times I've heard people say, oh, I've saved up some money. How much money do you have saved? I have $2,000. They don't know that it's 3%, 3% down, and then plus you have to pay at least 1-2% for closing costs. So those things that people need to be aware of, so that they know what they're getting themselves into, and they can have what they need when they are ready.
Right.
And
Right.
they should also be able to look at different sources. Where can I go to get funds? Talk with someone about, how can I get money for down payment? What are my options? Because you could say, hey, maybe some family members will, gift you some money. Maybe you can draw some money out of your 401k. Maybe you can qualify for a USDA loan and don't have to put any money down. Or maybe you can build a new construction where and see if you qualify for a USDA, and you don't have to put any money down, and then turn around, and sometimes the builders may offer money for closing costs or some of it, and you may not have to come up with as much money down. See where you are, see what your options are, and then go from there. So I think that if you're looking to purchase a home and not trying to rush things, if you don't have everything in order, you should give yourself at least 6 to 8 months, especially if the lender turns around and say, hey, there's some things that you need to work on your credit. So instead of trying to rush things, and then you misstep, because if you mess up, or if you miss a bill, or a payment,
Yes.
then you could offset everything, and then you're starting all over again.
That's right. That's right. That one missed payment or one late payment
Yeah.
can make you start the clock again.
I've seen it happen
That's good
several
to know.
times. Yeah, absolutely. And
Mhm.
then in the process, if you're not a single person, but if you're married, you can see where you guys are, if how can you do this together, or how can you do this separately.
Right.
And then here's the thing, and here's another way that you can build some generational wealth. So if your husband can afford to be able to purchase the home on his own, or you can get on the deed with your spouse, and then that payment is and then you have open income, where now you're able to go out and purchase a rental property,
Another
or
home. Right.
a multifamily home, and then you can start making money off of that. There's just ways around it. Like, there's 30 things that you can do that you could build generational wealth. I think that we just need to know what's available to us, so that we could so that we can get in the game.
Yes. Yeah.
I mean, it's a lot of knowledge and a lot of information that I feel like we definitely need to hear what you're saying in this time. But it's information, LaShawna said it perfectly. She said, this is information and stuff that people don't want to talk about with the home buying process. And it seems like you're definitely making the right steps and leading people in the right direction.
Yeah.
Because you always hear people say, oh, go buy a house. But nobody says, before you buy that house,
That's right.
let's talk about credit. Let's talk about down payment. You're going to need this. You're going to need that. So it does make sense. But if you're saying have 3, basically, I would say it sounds like 6% down, meaning 3% closing costs, different things like that.
Right.
So in addition to that, do you feel like you should have more money set aside for emergency cases, or just 6%, that's it. Nothing else.
Absolutely, because some homes come with warranty and some homes don't come with the warranty. You can always purchase an additional warranty, but you want to have a nest egg set aside so that when something happens, if that air conditioning system goes out, if you purchase a home and it's a dated HVAC system, or if the roof needs to be fixed, if it's 10 years old or closer to that time, 5, 7, 8 years old, something happens, you want to be able to make sure that you have the money to be able to pay for those things. We have no idea what's going to come up, and you want to be able to have something to fall back on. So a lot of times we tell people, yes, you should start a business. Oh, you should buy a home. But then we don't tell people what it takes to maintain those things. And that is a conversation that I love to have with people, because you don't want to walk into something and you don't know what you're doing. I've seen people who purchased a home and then HOA, and you pay yearly. Some people pay theirs monthly, yearly, and then some people aren't able to make those payments. And then next thing you know, they have a lien or judgment against them or their home, their property, because they hadn't paid those things. So you have to be able to know what those upkeeps are, or have some type of money set aside so that when those things arises, you're ready. What if your car goes out? You know what I'm saying? Or what happens if someone's sick and you're out of work, and you're the only person, or if something happens and you have only one income coming in. We have to factor in those things so that we don't get ourselves behind. So when we look at those dream homes, we need to make sure that is this really affordable? Calculate those payments, because you don't want to have a high mortgage payment and all you have is a mortgage and you no longer have a life. You can't travel. You can't take a vacation. You can't provide for your kids. You can't do after school programs, that type of stuff. You want to make sure that you're able to maintain. And that is a conversation that that is definitely necessary.
Yes.
Yeah.
Go ahead.
No, I was gonna say sometimes people will go in and they'll say, oh, by chance maybe they do have great credit and good debt to income ratio, and then like, oh yeah, well, you qualify for X amount of dollars. So, but you need to factor in is you don't, just because you qualify for $300,000 doesn't mean you go out and get a $300,000 house.
Yes.
How much can you afford? Because you can get it, but can you keep it?
Yeah.
We want you to keep it.
Yeah. And my biggest thing with that also, a wise woman told me years ago, she said, I'm married. She said, but at the end of the day, I made sure that when we purchased this house, that I can afford to pay the mortgage by myself. I can afford the upkeep by myself if anything happens. And that's something that always stuck with me, making sure, because if you go out here and get a $3,000 a month mortgage payment, meaning you pay half and I pay half, but if you can't pay your half, I can't pay your half either. What am I going to do? Right. So when she said that, like that right there was so key to me.
That's true.
Is it that important now? Yeah. Because and then if that person can't, and if you do have savings, you've exhausted your savings because you're trying to keep things afloat or keep things going while that person doesn't have that type of income. We don't want to set ourselves into those type of situations. So we want to tell people, yes, we want you to buy a home. We want you to purchase a home. We want you to gain generational wealth, but we also want you to be smart with it, because we want you to keep those homes to be able to pass it down to the next generation. That's right.
Yeah. Keep it.
Absolutely. Oftentimes people tell you what you need to do, but not what you need to do to maintain it. So,
that's key.
Yeah, exactly.
That is important and key. It sounds like you are educating all the way around. Credit. Yes. And if you tuned in late, the Twindle Foundation, it helps minorities change their future, really what it says. But basically they have a scholarship where they're helping people pay off student debt. Do you take donations for the scholarship?
You know what? Absolutely. We do take donations. We do. Who doesn't? But yes. We do accept donations. If you go to the website, there's a tab on there, the twindlefoundation.org, and people can donate. And that also helps us to open up the scholarship so that we could add more onto it, so that we could help more people. Like we do have to pull together as a community if we want to see the changes that we're looking for.
Yes,
I love it.
I do too. Too.
That's
Um,
nice.
yes. Oh man, I love it. Like the information that you're giving is like it's important and it's key. You said that you all are giving away the next scholarship in October. Are you doing like a live event or is this just something you announce?
No, I'll just announce it. You know what? Maybe we'll change that and do a live event. I'm unsure. Once I get with my team and discuss it, maybe we'll do something different.
Well,
But
if you
typically,
do,
we just
we will be there and we will do it live. We will be there.
oh, I like that. I like that.
Yes.
Yeah.
I
So
get when
yeah.
you said that, I was like, is it a live event?
Hey, heck yes.
we,
We'll
we
try.
will live.
Oh, I like that. I like that. I like that a lot. So yeah, maybe so we'll plan something in the future and then get some people together and see what we can
Yes.
come up with it because it's so important that we change the trajectory of our lives and so
Yes.
we have to again we have it takes a community we have to pull together and make sure that people have everything that they need. We can't keep talking about change if we're not making change happen.
Come on now. That's it.
Man.
Absolutely.
Yes, I love it. I love it. I love it.
Yeah.
Angie, did you have I was gonna ask find out like where can people find you, social medias?
Oh yeah, absolutely. On social media, my Instagram handle is I am Twanja, and I also have a Twindle Foundation page on Instagram.
Okay.
And then also you can find the website. It's twindlefoundation.org, and there all of the information is on there as well.
All right now. You all check it out. Check it out. So yes, she's a licensed realtor in South Carolina. However, I'm sure with all that education that she has, she can
Like
hook you up
connection.
with somebody somewhere else in the United States of America and probably Mexico. I don't know.
You never know.
I'm just playing. But yes, I mean, and just the knowledge alone, like, that's really awesome.
Yes.
It's really key about education. And I think that when you were saying like student loan debt, think also, educating us about home ownership. We tend to shy away from what we don't understand.
Yes, that's
You
right.
know, and not all of us had the opportunity or the privilege where our parents or our grandparents were homeowners,
Yes.
and so we don't know about that,
Yeah.
so I
Even
kudos. Hmm.
when you said education, we have to educate our people about when we take on those student loan debt. Just make sure that you don't take on more money than you need to have.
Yeah.
Find ways to minimize that debt as well too, because we need to understand. Okay, people say, "Hey, you should go to college and get an education," but they also should say, you know let me just give you a little bit of information. May have to take you might have to get a loan in order to go to college, but minimize that loan as much as you can, because here's what's going to happen. Once you graduate college, you're going to have to repay that money back, or you're going to have to repay a certain amount of that money monthly. And then if you're looking to purchase a home, or if you're looking to start a business, these things may become a challenging factor, and you don't want to hold yourself back from that. So we need to talk about. People always say, oh, you don't want to be negative or so negative sees. No, but we need to talk about those those things that may
Yes.
happen. So yeah,
Mhm.
we it's a discussion that we need to have.
Yes, indeed. All right, check it out, you guys.
Yes.
Foundation.org.
Yes. Oh my gosh. I'm going to check it out as soon as we finish.
Yes, and she is.
I already got it pulled up on my phone. So, yeah.
Yes.
Well, I do want to say thank you guys so very much for having me on. I really enjoyed having this conversation. And I hope that I was able to give people information that they need, so that they could understand the process more and understand why it's so imperative that we do build generational wealth. There's so much more that we could have in our future, or leave a legacy behind for the next generation when we take the right steps.
Yes. Well, thank you for coming on. And I know that you definitely planted seeds.
Yeah.
Yeah, this was awesome. Thank you so much.
Oh, you guys are welcome.
Yes. We always end with an inspiring moment or Angie moment is how we end the show. So this week we have an Angie moment, right?
Ta-da! Look, I got it this time. Yeah, sometimes I'll be like, yeah, got it this time. So
Okay.
So the other night, I was watching this movie. I have no idea what the name of the movie is, right? And when I first started watching it, like my husband turned it on. I was like, what do you have me watching? He ended up going to sleep. I couldn't sleep because I got so intrigued with the movie. So what it is that it was about these three young guys, right? And they were living, I think they were living like in California or something. But these three young guys, when I tell you, like they were just off the chart, right? They were just going around. They were, being menaces. Did I say that right? Yeah. So they were just really doing some crazy stuff. And then I'm like, why am I watching this? But then as it went along, it gave the backstory on each one of them. And so then you were able to really understand why were they acting the way that they were acting. Now, don't get me wrong. I'm not saying that it's okay to just go out there and just do whatever, willy-nilly. When you're wrong, you're wrong. But it really had me to start thinking that instead of us being so judgmental off the break and wanting to like throw people to the side, get to know what their backstory is. Why is she acting that way? Why does he approach things that way? And get to know them. And instead of just throwing them to the side, show them love. We're here and we're supposed to be the hands and feet of Jesus, right? God has given us the grace. God has given us the mercy, and we should be doing that to other people. So before we just ready to count people out and throw them to the side, pray about it. Get to know, a little bit about what their history is. But the main thing is to show them the love of Christ.
Yes.
Love them. And when they say love the HE double hockey sticks out of people, literally that's what we have to do.
Yes.
So instead of judging and throwing people to the side, love them. That's all I got.
Good. That was so good.
That was good. That was good. Because I was like, where's she going with this? Let me listen. Where's she going?
I'll go to the left. Yes.
That was good. Okay.
Okay. Oh, well, thank you.
Yeah.
I love that. I love that because there's always a root to people, like a root to the problem or whatever people are doing to people's situation or circumstances. You like we see the behavior and people say, oh, you could change, people could change that, but we don't know where that pain or where that stuff is deeply rooted at. And those are the things that only God knows that. So we have to allow grace to people continuously over and over and over. And we can't judge them because we don't know how they got to that point. Oh, that was powerful. That really was. I love that.
Yeah, thank you. Yeah, that movie really had me thinking.
Because at first,
I don't know what the name of it is.
That's what I was about to ask. I was like, what's the name of the movie?
I have no clue. It was something on Amazon. I have no clue what the name of the movie was. But yeah, it's about these three guys. It was two. They were probably like in their 20s or something like that. And so it was two black guys and a young white guy, but they were living in California, and it was like they had all been through some really traumatic things that you were kind of like, wow. So I don't want to give away too much of the movie, just in case you all want to watch it. And if I ever find out what the name of it is,
you'll let us know.
I'll let you know. Yes.
Okay. Well, thank you so much. We enjoyed ourselves. A great show. I'm sure people are going to reach out to you because we have
Yes.
your information up. We have it on the website. And please be in touch with us. Please let us know when you decide if you're going to do something live. We're there.
Yes.
I'll definitely be in touch. I would definitely be in touch.
All right. Well, we are looking forward to it.
Yes.
And, Facebook, YouTube, Instagram. We absolutely love you. We thank you for joining us tonight. And just, we'll be back next week.
Yes, we will.
We might not look the same, but we'll be back.
Yes.